for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, Philip. That first drink of coffee. You got that right. Well, it's not my first. First of the show. But man, it tastes good. Yeah, well, it's the first sip of a fresh cup of coffee. You got that right. Yeah. Today's Thursday, April 19th, 2018. 109 days into the new year. Just 256 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, it's Thursday, which means open lines all night long. And it's also another Fadernight with Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live, followed by open lines all night long. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. You can follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio, at JChurchRadio. Facebook for a little while. YouTube, everything is Fade to Black. Church Radio, you know what to do. Follow, like, and subscribe. Okay, the sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. We'll go through a few thousand tweets tonight, so you can come over and hang out with everybody. Are these... Are the... You guys... Okay, let's not get into that trend. The rest of these dancers are pretty good. Is that Rob Halford? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. Yeah, I like my dancing gifts at the beginning of the show. Thank you, everybody. That's really cool. And Frankie Four Fingers is already drinking. You guys are cool. And hashtag F2B is the sandbox where those dancing gifts are dancing right now. Come and hang out with us. And the conversations that happen over there, everything is in real time. I keep it up. I can Spinal Tap, really. See, those are distracting because those I love. That's great. The famous Spinal Tap Flying V Stradivarius guitar solo. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And this one here, though, is that Proctor? Is that who it? I can't even tell who that is. You know, it's a good heavy metal band when the hair is blocking out what is going on. Okay, hashtag F2B on Twitter. All right, let's get serious. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. Open lines all night long. And you can email throughout the show, jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. If you have any questions or comments during the show, you can email or hashtag F2BQ. Okay, Fade to Black questions. F, the number 2, BQ. F2BQ. And it's really that simple. Let's get to some breaking news. North Korea now says our troops can stay in South Korea. Wow. That's right. Totally dropping trowel before the big summit. I mean, they've got no bargaining chips now. There's nothing really to talk about. I don't know what the summit is going to be about now. You usually, you negotiate, right? Well, there's nothing. They said that the war games can go on, right? The military exercises, war games. We can keep our troops there, lining the DMZ, keep our bases. None of that matters. They just want sanctions dropped. So they're going to, that's it. Come in and clean out our nuclear devices, put them on boats, take it out of here. We need food. We need oil. We need stuff now. That's it. And so that's what's going on. It must be really, really bad. Really, really bad. Seriously. So, enough about that. Let's get to the fun stuff. Next week on Stellar, we'll kick off the alpha testing for all registered users. Listen to me clearly here. This is a really, really big deal. The platform looks awesome. Now, you're going to get to go in and start the alpha testing. There's going to be some fine-tuning. You're going to see all of that, maybe the look, colors and things and arrangements. The functionality of everything is going to be there for you to see. It looks good already, but all of that's going to change. I don't know if it's going to be better, but nonetheless, you're going to be able to go in and start dancing on the site. You're going to be able to build your profile page. You're going to do everything. You're going to post, comment, interact. You're going to do all of that. This is the alpha testing. And then we're going to quickly go in to beta and launch the site. Things are ready to go. Now, I know you want to check it out. I know you want to be a part of this. I get it. It's secret. There's going to be secret links, and you're going to get emailed an invitation code. This is, okay, it's really that cool. So, but in order to do all of that, you need to register. You need to register to participate. So, go and register right now on Stellar.com. ONSTELLAR.com. Okay, it's that simple. Use the promo code Jimmy. That'll get you through. Get your username. Start reserving all of that and get ready because that's it. Next week. And the emails started to go out today, and some of you got the email. It'll be Wednesday, April 25th. How exciting. Is your show on it? Is my show on what? On Stellar? On Stellar's a social media website. So we'll have a page. Definitely. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. We'll work on that. I mean, we have our own thing. Fade to Black, it's all good. It's all On Stellar is a social media platform. Okay? So we don't broadcast on I almost said Fade to Black. On Facebook. We don't broadcast on Twitter. No. It's amazing though. So you've got to register. Go and do that now on Stellar.com. And this platform incorporates everything from everything that you need or want in a social media platform. It's all in one place. Videos, video channels, chatting, of course, friends and friends list and liking and uploading and pictures and all of that. But it's focused. The mobile version is incredible too as well. But it's for our community, all of it, from UFOs to conspiracy and consciousness and lost history and life after death and health and wellness, 0 point energy. Everything is going to be there. Time travel. That's right. It's going to be amazing. And what's really cool for us, because I say this a lot, our community is largely ignored, right? And we are millions and millions strong. Well, all of us, everybody is going to be there. Right now, we're scattered. We do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit over here, a little bit over there. And now it's going to be all in one place. We get to support each other, have a token economy, and enjoy ourselves. It's high tech, it's amazing, and it works, and it's incredible, and it's done for us. So, it's just like, finally, right? Are there going to be haters? That's a good question. That is, you know what? That is just part of the world today, isn't it? It's such a small part, but they seem to be the loudest. But this platform is about no censorship. This is about welcoming everybody and freedom of thought and freedom of ideas and be able to go and present yourself and do your thing. So, if somebody says anything violent, wrong, in those regards, post anything, you're going to be kicked out and banned. So there's, but as far as constructive criticism, absolutely. If you want to call that haters, well, there's going to be haters because it's open dialogue. And now you're going to have what's really cool about this. You're going to have a little, I don't want to give away too much, but let me just say this. You don't want your reputation to be that of a hater on this platform. Okay? I'll just say that. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for everybody to see it. All right. We are getting ready. It's now, today is the 19th. So we're now 5 weeks away from our next event, which will be June 1st through the 4th, 2018, Contact in the Desert in Indian Wells, Palm Springs at the Renaissance Resort and Spa. This is the biggest UFO conference in the world, Contact in the Desert. And I'll be out there along with Rita all weekend long. We will be broadcasting. We arrived there Thursday. We'll be broadcasting live Friday in front of a studio audience. Each year there, we bring through about 14 guests on the show. It's always a great event for the Fadernauts. So that'll be going on Friday night. And then the rest of the weekend, I'll be hosting the events and hanging out with everybody. We got the award ceremony on Saturday night. We got the big, they're calling it a magic show. I cannot wait to see it. It's always so cool, the Saturday night event. I'm going to host that. And then Sunday night, I'll be introducing and hanging out. We've got a great booth. And then Sunday night, I'll be doing the closing night panel and the closing ceremonies. So I'll be hosting all weekend long. Come and hang out with us. OnStellar's going to have an amazing booth there. We're going to have an amazing booth. Stillness in the Storm, Modern Masters. We are all together. We have one big footprint right in the middle of everything. So come by and hang out. You'll get to meet everybody over at OnStellar, too, as well. So we've got a full weekend. Tickets and info are over at jimmychurchradio.com. But right after that is our conference, the Soul Tech Gathering, up at ECETI Ranch. We had Jason Quitt on the show last night, and Jason is going to be with us at Contact in the Desert. He's also going to be with us at the Soul Tech Gathering up at ECETI Ranch. And, so what's really cool about Contact in the Desert and Soul Tech is how the Fadernauts get together. And that's amazing. But at Soul Tech, it's going to be 300 Fadernauts. Think about that. 300 Fade to Black T-shirts. 300 all at the same place. We're going to be eating together. We're going to be learning together, hanging out. We're going to be out there at the Skywatch Field, watching our friends come visit us. Oh, maybe we'll have a Bigfoot sighting this year like we did last year. Oh, that would just be so cool. Fairies and elves and the medicine wheel. Oh, I just can't wait. Orbs. It all goes down up at ECETI. So you're going to want to get your tickets because it's going to sell out. We're only selling 300. SoulTechGathering.com. All right, SoulTechGathering.com. Tickets and info right there. ECETI Ranch, August 9th through the 12th. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, 840 archive shows right there. Custom apps, Apple, Android, all platforms, just $2 a month. You can also become a Fadernaut over in our membership section on the site. Get the bunker cam. Hello, everybody. I'm waving right now to everybody. Commercial-free downloadable archives. And if you get the Game Changer, you're going to get autographed T-shirts and hats. So, and if you renew your Game Changer, you get the new T-shirts. Yeah. So you're going to have 2 Fade to Black shirts. So when you go to one of the conferences, you've got 2 shirts you can wear over the weekend. We got to get a third. That's it. We got to get a third custom shirt. A third custom shirt for these conferences so you can go 1, 2, 3 and stay clean. So many of you wear the same shirt for 3 days. How do you wash a shirt at a conference and wear it 3 days in a row? Yeah. Okay. Some questions are better left unanswered. Let's get this show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Tim Curry, 72 years old. And before anybody thinks of it, and I love Tim Curry, I do. What do you think of first? Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you know he's cool with that, right? Also today, Nick Groff is 38, Ghost Adventures. Happy birthday, Nick. On this day in history, sad day. Sad day for 2 different reasons. On this day in history, 1993, the Branch Davidian compound burns to the ground, and 80 Branch Davidians, including 22 children, perish in the inferno. And then 2 years later, on April 19th, 1995, which was the 2-year anniversary of that disastrous end to the Waco standoff, Timothy McVeigh parked a Ryder rental truck loaded with diesel fuel fertilizer, a bomb, outside of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City and then fled. Minutes later, the massive bomb exploded, killing 168 people, including 19 children, on this day in history. Fader fact. Here we go. Fader fact. And this is one of those you got to wrap your head around. You got to wrap your head around this. 8%. That's 8% of all of the potatoes grown in the United States are turned into McDonald's fries. And that is your Fader fact. Tonight is another Fader night. Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom live, followed by open lines all night long. All right, now we're going to have John here in at the bottom of the hour. And the call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Everything is on the table tonight, whatever you would like to talk about. And I do want to mention this really quick, that it's been a week now. Art Bell passed away last Friday, April 13th. And this community lost one of the leaders. And when I think about Art, and so we're going to open up the phone lines tonight, and if you would like to, share with us your favorite Art Bell moment. When was the first time you listened to Art Bell? Why did you go back, the second time? What was your favorite show? How long did you listen to him? Did you and your partner, your wife or your husband, you guys listen to the show together? Did you listen to it at night? Did you have strange dreams as you fell asleep? All of those things, because he was responsible for so much. And the friends that he made with his audience, I have to say this because I was one. I was one of those. I remember when I guess it was probably 5 years ago, when Art came back to Sirius XM 5 years ago, 2013. When he came back, I was dancing. And it caught me by surprise because I didn't hear about it, and I had heard mentions about it, but it just seemed like it happened overnight. Boom, bam, boom, he's there, and I'm dancing, and Rita's like, "Dude, slow down." No, it's Art, right? So, and that it was short, that 5-6 weeks worth of Sirius XM, but. It was like that. And the way that I reacted, I know that the rest of the country was. And so I want to back up off of that reaction that I had. Back when Art, he went to the Philippines, and then I thought, oh no, what do we do? How is that going to work out? Well, I'm going to broadcast from the Philippines, right? Really? When? And now it was so long ago now. We're talking about 2003, 2004, 2005. We're 15 years ago, 14, 13, 12, 11 years ago. We went through these Art is back periods. And I know that there were millions across this country that were reacting the same way I was, constantly checking the internet, constantly seeing if Art was going to be on that weekend or a Friday, or he was going to step in, or maybe we were going to get 2 or 3 days in a row, or maybe we'll get a full week out of this guy. I was thinking the same thoughts as all of you. And if that's the way that I felt about it, that's the way that you felt. And Friday, April 13th, 2018, hit us all hard. It hit us all hard. And I know that there were just millions out there that knew that was it. There wouldn't be another comeback. There wouldn't be another Art from the Philippines, or another from the Kingdom of Nye, from Param. That's it. And it was dramatic, and it was done. And I want you to know how I feel about that, because I'm just like all of you, and I look up to Art and what he did. Anything can be said about his style. You can inject any word there about how great or fun or he was interested, or he wanted to know these. There's all of those descriptions, but the point is he was able to connect to everybody. So I just wanted to say that. And Friday night hit Rita and I in a strange way, and I didn't dig it. Tonight, after Fade to Black, everybody's going to leave this show and go over to Coast, as they should, and listen to George and his tribute to Art. They're going to have a lot of great guests over there, and you should go and do that. But I'll say this, in the words of P.T. Barnum, right? And, the show must go on. And it's the cycle of life, and I know that a lot of hurt is out there, but now, it's been a week, and life goes on. Life goes on, and so tonight it's the first Fadernight, and it's the one opportunity for all of you, if you so choose, if you have anything that you would like to share with us, we can do that tonight. And then that's it. Strange, isn't it? I never thought that we would. I said last week, I say this with a nervous laugh, but when I went on with Coast with George, what I really meant was when I said, I meant what I said when I said I didn't think that dude was ever going to go anywhere. I thought he was going to outlive all of us. And we would have 10 more comebacks, and we would have, all this future and so forth. When I said that, I meant it. I didn't think that we would be talking like this today in 2018. Just unbelievable. All right, so there's that. Now, I did want to go back and really quick before I bring John in here. We've had a very, very dramatic week in the news cycle. And not only with everything that seems to be going on in the world right now and the Syrian airstrikes right now, I wanted to mention this, something that is not in the news. It's not there. They are having a silent revolution right now in Armenia. And you can search right now and search Armenia protest. And you can watch some of these videos that are, and what is going on in downtown, in the capital of Yerevan. And the reasons for that are, that is theirs, right? This is Armenia. And but I am shocked that this is going down in the capital city out there. It's not violent. The police are trying to make it violent. The protesters are not. But they're upset. And for those reasons are their own. But what is amazing to me is that it's not in the news. Western media is not covering it. And we're talking about a country with a history that goes back to the very foundations of everything on this planet, from the first Christian church, first languages and first music and schools. We talk about Mesopotamia and we talk about ancient Sumer and we talk about Egypt. Armenia was right there, the Armenian highlands. Göbekli Tepe sits in Armenia. It doesn't sit in Turkey. It sits in Turkey today because of an artificial border that is set up there. But it was built, when it was built, that was the Armenia highlands. And right now, it's and I was watching video today with Rita from Yerevan, and it's just like, holy crap, and nobody is talking about it. So I just wanted to mention that tonight, and I think everybody should go out there and look at the videos and share them in social media to let people know about what is really going on in Yerevan right now as I speak. All right. With that, let me get out of here, get Jon Rappoport in. I see all the phone calls coming in, everybody. I'm not answering anything. I don't want anybody to be on hold for the next half hour. I'm going to open it up fair and square at the top of the hour, and then we'll get this thing going. All right, so let's do this. It's Thursday night, Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. You can follow me on Twitter @jchurchradio. Follow Jon Rappoport @Jon Rappoport without the H. I'll be right back with John and his No More Fake Newsroom live. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights. just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Natural Health Solutions with Chris and Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Great, Chris.
Now, you're the CEO of GetTheTea.com, right?
Yes, I am.
What is GetTheTea.com? I mean, is this tea you buy in a store?
Well, no, it's not. Life Change Tea is just that. Life-changing. Life Change Tea is an herbal tea that gently cleanses your body from intruders.
What do you mean by intruders?
Well, intruders are toxins, chemicals, GMOs, heavy metals, and more. They're in our food, in our water, in our air we breathe.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
And Life Change Tea will help you with removing these, as you say, intruders?
That's right, Chris.
Are there side effects with this tea?
Well, you might lose a little weight. When you clean your colon, you lose weight, you feel better, and you have more energy.
Wow. Ronnie, where can people purchase Life Change Tea?
Oh, that's easy. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
Ronnie, I want to thank you for being on the show. People, don't forget, GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash, they all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hello, folks. Tonight, we return to the opioid crisis because I'm finding out more than I ever thought I would about this. First of all, we're talking about drugs which are classified as painkillers. Fentanyl. There was OxyContin. I've counted 60, that's when I stopped counting, different pharmaceutical produced opioid drugs. They all started with opium poppies and morphine. But the pharmaceutical companies decided that they could carve up the market and they could find many, many, many users for dozens of these opioids. And so they got them approved and they marketed them, and they are now spawning one of the most serious epidemics, if you want to call it that, in the history of America, certainly, and other countries as well. We're talking about 2.6 million addicts. One estimate has it in the United States. 300,000 deaths since the year 2000, but then I see another figure that's been quoted that more people died from opioid addiction in the last year than Americans died in the entire Vietnam War. That's a sobering stat. Fact. So try to grasp those numbers. if you can. Now, on the one hand, what's happening is that doctors are being more and more restricted in their ability to prescribe opioids to patients who are in chronic pain. I have heard firsthand reports from people about this. And there are circumstances that cause this. For example, insurance companies refusing to pay for the prescriptions of opioids to patients in severe pain beyond a certain degree. There are new CDC guidelines in which they say try ibuprofen first and then don't issue more than a 5-day supply of opioids to patients in any kind of chronic pain, no matter how agonizing. 5 days. So that's why people get cut off, and the withdrawal symptoms are absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. So then these people go out on the street and they begin looking for anything. And they find heroin, which is another opioid. But now they're involved with incredibly contaminated drugs. Who knows what's in them? They're cut and stepped on in many different ways, sometimes with very toxic compounds. On top of this, I read a report yesterday indicating that there are websites online where people can order opioids, and that some of these come from China, created by Chinese labs, and that some of these are actually designer spin-offs from opioids, which are far more powerful than, say, fentanyl, which is in itself far more powerful than morphine. So you're talking about drugs now that can actually kill people immediately. In fact, law enforcement, so-called first responders, who are called to the scene of, let's say, an overdose death or an interdicted shipment of these pills, are warned not to come in contact with them because they could be immediately poisoned by just simple contact, which apparently means breathing in particles of these drugs. Staggering, absolutely staggering. And as far as these online websites are concerned, customers are told that if they order the drugs through courier services, which I guess would be like FedEx, then the packages coming in from outside the country would be screened and could be held up. But if they order through the U.S. Post Office, they'll sail through. The packages will, because they aren't screened. Great, huh? Now, I want to read you a piece of a very important article written in New York Magazine by Andrew Sullivan, and I recommend it to you. Because there's more to this epidemic than meets the eye as to how it developed, what shape it takes, and so on. So I'm going to read a paragraph. This is trying to trace how this began. Federal government's move in the mid-1980s to replace welfare payments for the poor with disability benefits which covered opioids for pain. Unscrupulous doctors, often in poorer areas, found a way to make a literal killing from shady pill mills. So did many patients. A Medicaid copay of $3 for a bottle of pills could yield $10,000 on the streets, an economic arbitrage that enticed countless middle-class Americans to become drug dealers. One study has found that 75% of those addicted to opioids in the United States began with prescription painkillers given to them by a friend, family member, or dealer. As a result, the social and cultural profile of opioid users shifted as well. The old stereotype of a heroin junkie, a dropout or a hippie or a Vietnam vet, disappeared in the younger generation, especially in high schools. Football players were given opioids to mask injuries and keep them on the field. They shared them, the pills, with cheerleaders and other popular peers, and their elevated social status rebranded the addiction. Now opiates came wrapped in the bodies and minds of some of the most promising, physically fit, and capable young women and men of their generation, courtesy of their doctors and coaches. It's hard to convey the sheer magnitude of what happened. Between 2007 and 2012, for example, 780 million hydrocodone and oxycodone pills were delivered to West Virginia, a state with a mere 1.8 million residents. You getting this? In one town, population 2,900, more than 20 million opioid prescriptions were processed in the past decade. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so now let me shift gears and talk about this West Virginia situation and other similar situations. I've spoken about this before on the show. Where are these drugs coming from? 780 million pills delivered to West Virginia, a state with a mere 1.8 million residents. Of course, what we're talking about is these are shipped to little pharmacies, little pain clinics, whatever, which are really pill mills and fronts for traffickers. So who shows up there in West Virginia by plane? Dealers, not patients. The dealers are buying in quantity and they're taking back to the street and selling them, as wholesalers would to retail street drug dealers. Well, all these pills, or most of them, are coming from pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies. That's the key. That's the clue. And how is that possible? After all, the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration of the United States, is supposed to be on the case. And to some degree, they were. What they wanted to do, and to some degree were able to do, is march into a big pharmaceutical company and say, okay, look, we know that you're trafficking. We know that this goes far beyond satisfying the need of medical patients. We know that you are drug dealers. We know which shipments are the trafficking shipments that are going out from your company. And so we're going to freeze those shipments and we're going to prosecute you as traffickers. But then, in 2016, a law was passed in the U.S. Congress, virtually unanimously in both houses, without debate. And this law, which was signed by Obama in April of 2016, introduced myriad complications that made it much, 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 much harder for the DEA to do what they wanted to do to stop the trafficking out of pharmaceutical companies. All sorts of legal complications and postponements were now possible. wrangling in courts, the bar was raised so high that I was told by one inside source that it's nearly impossible now for the DEA to do their job, to stop the trafficking. In a recent article that I wrote over at No More Fake News, I delivered a long quote from the Washington Post several months ago, who exposed what I'm just telling you now about this 2016 law. But after an initial flurry of copycat stories, the whole thing died. Major media have not followed up on this, have not demanded that members of Congress speak out about what they've done to make this opioid crisis much worse than it already was. They haven't demanded and investigated and dug deeper. That story has died, which is a disgrace, a complete disgrace for major media, which is why I'm reporting it here. And I urge you to send links of this show to people that you know. Doesn't matter which part of the political spectrum they're on, everybody's concerned about this. You've got members of Congress who are now getting up on their hind legs and saying we have to do something to stop this horrendous crisis, which is the worst drug crisis in the history of the country. But they're not saying anything about the fact that they themselves voted to pass a bill that makes it nigh on impossible for the DEA to do its job. And they're not being held to account for that. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, you would think, wouldn't you, that if the Washington Post breaks a story like that, that at least they would follow up on it and send their hounds loose into the Congress, into the bowels of the U.S. government, into the Drug Enforcement Administration, and start getting statements from these people and press them to the wall like you would do in any good investigation. Because then you get people rolling over on each other, pointing fingers, going up higher on the food chain, and you find out things that you absolutely didn't know before. And more people get exposed. Criminals inside the government. Here's another part of the story. Morphine, which is derived from opium poppies, is a very powerful drug, and the dose can be adjusted. I've had friends in hospital that I visited. I know how it works after surgery, for example, when they get morphine. The dose can be adjusted if the doctor is competent to knock out the pain, but not give the patient so much that their system is overwhelmed. Point I'm making here is, why does there need to be at least 60, and there's actually more, pharmaceutical opioid drugs, different drugs, all of which are far more powerful than morphine in order to treat pain? Why? There is no reason whatsoever. And pharmaceutical companies, as has been shown in court, have duped duped, bribed doctors into thinking or assuming that the addiction potential of these extremely powerful opioids is not dangerous. That's one of the things that sparked and kicked off this whole crisis. And yet, 1, 2, perhaps 3 at the most of these incredibly powerful opioids, plus morphine, could in fact take care of chronic pain in people that really have it and really need the drugs. If you are manufacturing and selling under false pretenses 60, 70, 80 of these different opioids, you are now contributing to the crisis and the epidemic. You are making addicts. And again, withdrawal from these drugs is absolutely horrendous. So for anyone who is attempting to withdraw, it has to be done in a professional setting with some professional healthcare practitioner who really knows the score and understands how to gradually withdraw. So these are some of the relevant facts that are contributing to this ongoing catastrophe in America. Now, as Andrew Sullivan points out in his New York Magazine article, the high, at least initially, from these drugs is a kind of floating, serene isolation. This is not a party drug. This is not a rave drug. This is nothing like that. It's nothing like weed, marijuana at all. What this turns into for the user sooner or later is a kind of complete empty space, a nothingness, a floating. Culturally, what that produces, we already see many factors in the society that contribute to the isolation of individuals. Well, at the rates that people are using these opioids, culturally speaking, you're getting far more isolation and removal of people from the goings-on of daily life. A bill could be passed right now in Congress, and it's an unconscionable crime that it's not, that would repeal the 2016 law that made it much harder for the DEA to crack down on pharmaceutical traffickers. In 2 days, you could have a bill introduced, rushed onto the floor, and passed by both houses of Congress, repealing the 2016 law and freeing up the DEA to really go after the pharmaceutical traffickers. But there is no bill like that. Nobody has sponsored it. Nobody has introduced it. Nobody has written it. Think about that. Think about if you were in Congress and you realized, and it was pointed out to you, that the bill that you voted for in 2016 is now pushing and pushing and pushing and increasing and expanding the opioid crisis. Wouldn't you raise holy hell and introduce a bill to repeal that law? And yet in the Congress, nothing is happening. What does that tell you about these people? What does that tell you about their character, their morals? This is a window, if you need a window to look into the character of these people, because they know what they did. I'm not giving you something that's, buried in a cave here. This is out in the open. And yet, in the Congress, nothing's happening. And that's my report for tonight.
John, sobering indeed. I couldn't believe it. I've seen it a few times now. Last week, CNN saw a commercial. Are you ready? For opioid constipation. Now, and I had to stop. I had to stop myself and observe and absorb what I was actually seeing here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fully recognizing what's going on. And really, you are going to create, invent, and go through the process of this, creating the product, naming the product, and then dumping marketing dollars into the opioid crisis that you are openly recognizing. And you are going to advertise on television. Wow. And I could not believe it. Now, I went and, absorb that for a second, right? That just kind of takes a minute to think about. But it actually happened. I went and looked at some West Virginia numbers that you were talking about here. 2016, 110 opioid prescriptions per 100 persons. Now, wait a minute, right? That was 2.08 million prescriptions. And in a state that has 1.8 million people living in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can those numbers be ignored?
Yeah. Here's the quote again. In one town, population 2,900, more than 20 million opioid prescriptions were processed in the past decade.
That's insanity. I mean, that's insanity. I'm looking at these charts and graphs here. I'm at I'm at a government website, and I also went and looked at the DEA report for 2017. I don't know if you saw that, but that's available in PDF. And the same, it's the same alarming numbers, but the government agencies are recognizing it, but nobody's doing anything about it. And I don't get it. But again, it was, for me, when I saw that commercial on TV, somebody, I say this all the time, it's so dark. Somebody got a boardroom together full of a bunch of marketing executives, and they're going, okay, man, the numbers are up. Now, how do we profit?
Make money off of that?
How do we profit? Oh, constipation. Yeah, let's do an opioid constipation. Great idea, Bob. Right?
Yeah.
Let's rush that through.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. John, thank you so much, man. And thank you. Again, I say it every week, but thank you for everything that you do. And our audience respects and appreciates everything. Okay, so from them to you, from me, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Much appreciated.
And we'll see you next week right here. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Jon Rappoport. And like I say, every single Thursday night, start off your day at nomorefakenews.com. All right. Let's open up the phone lines. Let's take a break. Wow, somebody snuck in right at the end of John. You know the timing of things. All right, there's another. Okay, so everybody just stay on hold. We'll get you right after the break. It's Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station.
Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas. Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly Ancient Life Oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go Beckley Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black, Fadernight, Thursday night. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. Man, Jon Rappoport, sobering, no pun intended, sobering report. And I went and looked at numbers and stats. And it's insane. It's insane. The opioid crisis, man. It's epidemic. Absolutely insane. All right, let's go straight to the phones. Area code 780. You're up first. Welcome. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing?
Laird, how are you, man?
Oh, I didn't have to even use my signal word, Panama wait. Yes, I'm doing good, my friend. How about yourself?
It's Thursday night, Laird. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. And I'm hearing you. That's all that matters.
Well, hey, that's good. Yeah, Johnny hit her out of the park with that one. It's not just an American problem with the opiates. That's a Western world problem because the drug companies were greedy, making money.
Yep. That is the bottom line there. And
absolutely, you know, the pushers were our legal consultants on this.
Yep. And you hear about it and you hear about it, and then you start to, you look at, just numbers. You look at numbers and look at populations of cities and towns, and you're looking at these numbers that don't balance out and make sense, but nobody really seems to care. And they're creating the epidemic, and there are probably some really good doctors out there. I mean, we don't have enough doctors in this country, right? But that need to just stop what they are doing, and they know it. I had heard the other day, Laird, that there was a reporter here in Los Angeles that said that doctors, you are allowed to. Are you ready? You're allowed to write your scripts for opioids, but you can't write scripts for drugs to take you off of the opioids. You can't do that.
Really?
No, that comes from another program, right? And you've got to, go somewhere else for the addiction and that issue. But that just doesn't make any sense.
It becomes a big money grab in all directions.
I can't believe that. So a doctor recognizes, but somebody, you can't write can't write a script for that, and that's incredible to me. But there you go, Laird. Thank you so much, my friend. And what else is on your mind?
Oh, nothing, man. It just I see people dying around me from the same problem, to this, that, or the other thing, and the stuff they're shipping in from China. Just a scary world, man. You just got to go back and realize that you don't need all that crap to get feeling better.
No, and we and if you think about it, and thank you for the phone call, Laird, and be safe and be well, my friend.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you, Laird. If you think about it, we have gone through these weird phases of different drugs, and I think about crack cocaine, and then crack cocaine, and what happened there. Huge numbers, huge crime, and these phases of things. They come and they go. This opioid situation that we're talking about, prescriptions, and not crack cocaine that is made in somebody's kitchen somewhere, and they turn that into there was production and things. But we're talking about pharmaceutical companies cranking these pills out. It's another type of crisis. And with that, let's go to area code 619. You're up next on, I almost said Coast. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, it's Abraham.
Hey, Abraham, how are you?
I'm really fine, and I'm even better that I'm talking to you.
Yeah, great. How are you, Abraham? What's on your mind?
I was in L.A. For 2.5 months trying to get a community together. A community of Fadernauts who like to see each other in person,
Right.
But I didn't get any, in such a big city like L.A., I didn't get any response at all, even though I went on Fade to Black, F2B, and I'm a little disappointed, but I moved to San Diego, so I'm trying again. Wouldn't you like to have Fadernauts getting together personally? I mean, just think what that could do to the Fadernaut community, And I really want. I take that, that we're family. I take that very seriously, and I love you, Jimmy. I really do. I think you're just great, and so one of the best hosts in the world. I'm sure of that. You're a phenomenon, if I may say so. So what do you got to say about that?
Well, they get together around the country, and they do. They've got their little groups, and So if you're down there in San Diego, I would, just post on F2B and see if you can get it together. That's it'll happen. I hope it does. I mean, I think you guys would have a lot of fun getting together, barbecuing and chatting. So yeah, just post in Fade to Black, man. Hashtag F2B. You know how pretentious LA is, man. So even the Fadernauts up here in LA, everybody's busy. But down there in San Diego, it's a little more relaxed. So yeah, see if you can put it together.
Yeah, it is a lot more relaxed here. I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah, San Diego's great.
Yeah, and anyway, another thing I want to say is, ego aside, I'm a genius, just like you, Jimmy. And I want to get my stuff out there because it's really phenomenal. It's unique. Nobody does what I can do, and so I just want to tell people, get together with me. You'll really learn something,
Well, get it out there. Abraham, get it out there. Hashtag F2B.
Well, aren't I getting it out there now?
Yes, well, of course. Abraham, you're all right, man. Well, listen, hashtag F2B, and let us know. Take some pictures. All right, I want to see see your fade or not get together.
Oh, I'll see you in Contact in the Desert. Yes, I got my ticket.
I'll see you there, my friend.
Okay.
Thank you, Abraham.
All right. God bless you, Jimmy, and stay healthy.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Abraham down in San Diego wants to get a Fade to Black, Fade or Not group together. So there you go. He's cool. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Paul way out here in Vancouver. How you doing?
Hi, Paul, way out there in Vancouver. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Hey, I was gonna, I've been thinking a lot about Fukushima, and then I tuned into your show tonight, and I heard Jon Rappoport talking about that about it in his presentation tonight, and I was kind of impressed with that.
Yeah, he's good.
Because, yeah, but I think it is a relevant thing,
Well, the opioid epidemic, I would say it's relevant is exactly right.
Yeah, I think it is, and I don't know what to say about it really, but we need to be talking about it. We need to, the one thing that I find kind of fascinating about it is that you can protect yourself against it at the same time. There are things that you can take that will counter this radiation that you might be consuming, and
okay,
there's not enough knowledge going around for people,
Yeah. Well,
but it is out there.
Yeah, you're right about that. And Fukushima aside, I have when it comes to I used to be a big sushi guy. I'm scared of fish now. It's
I can't eat anything out of the water.
Yeah, man, I'm just totally freaked out. And up there in Vancouver, you guys got some great sushi bars, and trust me, I've eaten at them, and it's just totally weird. But thank you so much, Paul. Be safe, and you're absolutely right, man. I don't know what we're gonna do about it. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
Thank you. Great phone call right there. I used to up there in Vancouver. It's just funny that he's from there. But up there in Vancouver, I used to spend so much time up in that area, and some of the best fish and seafood and sushi bars are in Vancouver. Amazing places, And I'm talking about, this is 20 years ago when I was, just getting into sushi like the rest of the country. But now, and I love sushi, I'm scared of it. It's kind of messed up if you think about it. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, it's Sarah Ann. I'm in San Diego, too.
How are you?
Not hanging out with Abraham, though.
Oh, you are?
No, I probably should be.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you're there with them right now. What part of San Diego?
I'm in North County, La Costa, but I'm a Midwestern gal like you. Not a gal, but a Midwestern person.
I've played La Costa.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right on.
Yeah, La Costa, that area... And so everybody should kind of understand. I guess technically you could say it's San Diego, technically, but it's way north. It's way north, and it's right there on the coast. Beautiful part. Well, La Costa's inland, but just a beautiful, beautiful part of the United States, and I love that part.
Yeah. It's super mystical, too, and I think highly energized. A lot of vortexes, a lot of sightings around here.
Yeah. What have you seen?
What haven't I seen? It's really active over here, really, really active. I've seen a lot of, ships that are more like orbs, kind of, what you were talking about last night. But there was one night when I was walking along the golf course here. I'm right on the... what is it called? La Costa Golf Course, where they have the resort. And it was about 2 a.m. I've seen this particular craft twice. It looked very military, almost Martian. It was red, definitely more physical than some of the other things that I've seen. And I feel like it's because we're very close to a lot of the military stuff here, like Camp Pendleton. Just a lot of stuff here, though. A lot of activity.
When you say red and alien-like, and then you use the word military, too, all interesting descriptions. What did it look like?
So it looked like an orb, but it looked physical, and it was red. And actually, this one came out of the ground.
Really?
It came up from behind. In La Costa, you have all of this amazing, beautiful, hilly landscape.
Yep.
And yes, it came up, and it was clearly looking at me because I was walking very late at night. And, that felt not so good.
Yeah, La Costa, when you get, and the further you go inland from there, I want to describe this to the audience right. It's very rural. It's Southern California desert kind of thing, but it's rolling hills, beautiful, beautiful scenery, very, very scenic. But the further you go inland, the more remote you get. But you are, there's a heavy, heavy military presence right there with Camp Pendleton. But, south, you've got all of the naval installations that are there, of course, Top Gun, and the not only the Navy but the Marines and the Air Force. There is a heavy military thing that goes on. So I can only imagine you getting. Because even though you're out there in the country, you look up and you'll hear the F-18s flying overhead. You'll hear the helicopters. See what's going on with the military exercises that are going on every single day down there. And I think that because of the remoteness of it, I think ET would have an interest. So it's a weird...
especially because we're right here by the Palomar Airport.
Right.
And there was a period where I was hearing what sounded like jets all of the time. And I could tell from my guidance that it was something, on a much higher light level. They were checking in with all the airports in the area. But I'm just like, how are people not noticing this?
Right.
It's like you look up in the sky and it's unbelievable the things that you can see. And even when you're looking out on the ocean, there's stuff coming out of the ocean all the time.
Right.
And of course, the helicopters are monitoring all of this. And I think people are just like, they're looking for sharks or something.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on here, people.
Right. I remember I used to have a friend that lived right there by Palomar Airport. And I would drive by Palomar on the freeway, right there, and you drive right past it. And then I would go out to his place, and he used to tell me about the UFO sightings over and around Palomar Airport. And it's funny that you bring that up. I totally remember these conversations I used to have with him about what was going on. So you're seeing the same things.
Oh, yeah. It just gets more and more intense. And what's also interesting, though, is there's this contrast of what feels like guardianships. You were speaking last night about how you would see when you were out at the ranch, you would just look up, for no particular reason, and there was something.
Right.
That's what it is around here when, I'm walking out, and I don't know why, all of a sudden I'll look up, and there will be more of a beautiful star-like, planet-like ship. And it'll be there, and it's cruising, so it can't be a shooting star. It can't be a satellite. You definitely know that it's a craft. And then it just dissipates. And it's like, it's like, what made me look up? I don't know. And I could totally relate to that story. And that feels good because there's this weird energy with some of the crafts. And then there's also this amazing guardian energy.
Did you read Yvonne Smith's book, Coronado?
No.
Have you been?
But I want to.
Yeah. Have you been down to Coronado?
Yep, I have.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's a beautiful old wooden hotel, gorgeous. I mean, just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And but it's right there, San Diego. You got to take the bridge out, and you head out. It's on a little island, and when you cruise out there, this is what I find interesting about her book. In San Diego and UFOs is they just go hand in hand, and when you get into the history of sightings down there, right? But anyway, you take this bridge, everybody, and as you cruise out, you're driving over aircraft carriers and submarines. It seems like there's 100 ships. There probably is 100 Navy ships right below you. You get out to Coronado, and then you, after reading the book, and you're in Coronado, and you look around and you think, well, I can understand an abduction going on down here. You have this huge military presence. You've got all of this stuff. Of course, ET knows what's going on here, and it's just all it's part of that UFO and San Diego history. And Coronado is right in the middle of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it totally is. It totally is. I don't get down there very often. But that would be an interesting place to do a little ET excursion, if you will.
Well, see, that's the whole thing about Coronado. If you go to Coronado, you're driving to Coronado. You don't drive by Coronado. You have to drive to it, right?
Yeah, I've been to that hotel. It's definitely it's a place to go for the day.
Yeah, no doubt. Great patio, great drinks, great shrimp cocktails. All right, what's your name again?
It's Sarah Ann.
Thank you, Sarah Ann. Great phone call.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, have a great night. You too. Thank you so much. And let's see, I've got time for one more before the break. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Jimmy, it's Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy. How are you?
How you doing, my man?
It's Thursday night, man. Well, it's Friday for you.
Yeah. Well, it's Fadernight, isn't it? And the feeling is right.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, what's on your mind, man? What's on your mind?
Well, nothing really. I just started phoning in and sort of like just give you a hello because like I've never phoned in before, so there was a bit of pressure a little while ago on Facebook. Oh, you got to phone in, so here I am.
You submit to pressure, huh?
Only when it comes from a woman.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You live in Dover, right?
Yeah.
Do you actually go down to the wharf and eat Dover sole?
No, dude, I'm really not a fish person at all. Oh, however, though, I do like fish and chips. It has to be battered, and around here, a lot of it is so fresh that it's great. I mean, we have a restaurant probably about 30 miles down the coast, and like these things, when you order your fish and chips, it comes out, and it's like the size of a whale. It is huge.
Right.
And it's like, you know, it's brought in fresh by the fishermen in the morning. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
So the fish and chips that you get the real stuff. So you get it's in newspaper, right?
No, a lot of places won't do it nowadays because of all these EU laws, regulations, and other kind of red tape, I suppose.
What? You can't get fish and chips on the London Times?
It's that bad, mate. Yeah, it really is.
Oh, so what? How do they do it now?
And it's a proper working class thing as well. You're not working class until you've had fish and chips from newspaper.
Right. I thought that was the law. You're telling me it's been outlawed.
Yeah. Well, let's just see whether or not Brexit changes it. I mean, if it brings back fish and chips in proper newspaper, I'm all for it, mate. I really am.
Oh, man. Rita and I, we were watching this documentary. Well, we've watched it a couple of times. And this mathematician is talking about the code, right, and different sacred geometry type things. And he goes to Dover, and he does a whole thing on Dover Soul, mathematics, and measurement and weights, and talks about the origins of the universe. It's brilliant, and he does it right there.
And that's all through fish as well. Who put that together, huh?
You should check it out. It's called The Code.
The Code. Okay.
Yeah, it's a BBC documentary.
Oh, right, okay. So it's a local thing as well. So chances are I'll probably get it on the BBC player then.
Well, and see, look, Dover's small, right? It's small.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
not big. And the wharf down there with all of the fishing boats, it's not huge. So you probably know everybody there in the restaurant that he goes into and munches out.
Yeah. I mean, we have like an absolutely massive marina development taking place at the moment, and it managed to sort of like take over pretty much half of our seafront, which wasn't in the plans when they first threw it at the people of Dover.
Mm-hmm.
And also where we used to have the hovercraft come in and out, they've also expanded that to make way for this kind of really, really nice like expansion with shopping, like malls and al fresco restaurants and bits and pieces to go with it as well. I mean, it does look really, really nice, but at the moment it's it's just one big kind of building site, so it's rather unsightly.
Well, tell everybody where to go and listen to your podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah, Fascination Street. It's a little thing. It's getting there. It's gaining a bit of momentum, and the dude has just ordered some new studio equipment, so we're going there. We're doing it. I've got a little Behringer mixer and all that kind of on the way, so hopefully I'll be able to take phone calls and other bits and pieces as well.
Well, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you were saying earlier on about Art Bell and that, I mean, as you know, like yourself and Art Bell were like major influences on what I've wanted to do. And over the past few nights, I've been going through a lot of his old stuff because there's so much volume of work of his that is still out there on YouTube. And his stuff with J.C. Webster III, oh my God.
Yeah,
how can you not listen to that stuff and keep a straight face? That is absolutely hilarious. It is comedy gold.
Yeah, J.C. Webster, man, classic. Even I had my little J.C. Webster phone call once, and I don't know.
Did you?
Oh yeah. And but my point is, I remember the first time I heard J.C. call in, I thought, man, is this guy real? I mean, seriously. And how Art handled it was just amazing. And
he's great, isn't he?
It's you know what. I was prepared for it because I had listened to it before, but yeah, those that was just radio gold. Well, Jimmy, thank you so much. And so Fascination Street, where can they go? Do you have a website yet?
Yeah, it's all available on Anchor FM. However, if you go to my Twitter page, which sometimes flashes up on the hashtag F2B, there are links there to every episode.
There you go. Thank you, Reverend.
Jim, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the call.
Yeah, thank you so much. The podcast is called, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon, Jimmy. Fascination Street is the name of the podcast. You can go check it out on Twitter, Reverend Jimmy. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's open lines. More of your phone calls are next. Stay with me.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously. Go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Let's go to the phone. Area code 360. You're up next.
Yay, Jamie. This is Phil.
Hey, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thought I had to call in on this one, man. The opioids plus Art Bell. This is like two of my things. So the opioids, I had a climbing accident on Devil's Tower where I took about a 30-foot leader fall and just blew my ankle totally apart. So they hauled me off to Rapid City and pumped me full of morphine. And I think I was on morphine for, Lord, I don't know, probably a couple weeks. And yeah, that opioid constipation is a real thing, man.
Yeah. I'm sure that it is.
And that's the thing is that they do all these drugs. They love those side effects, so they can sell you a pill for that problem, and then that problem will give you another problem, and they can sell you another pill. I mean, this is the racket that they've had going on for like ever. And the problem with the political thing, man, is that even the Democrats who are supposed to be for the people, right? No, they take money from the pharmaceuticals and will screw you, just like they did on this law that you were talking about, or he was talking about, that makes it hard for the pharmaceuticals to be prosecuted.
What was
It's rigged, man.
Yeah, it is completely rigged. Both sides. It doesn't matter. Republican, Democrat, they're all on the take when it comes to lobbyists. What was your favorite Art Bell show?
Well, I can't remember his exact show, but I listened to him on a Larry King interview, and I remember the dude. Back in the day when I was working in the McCullough gas plant there in Wyoming, the dude from Texas listened to Art all the time, so I would listen to him too. So that would be back in like 80, 82, 78 maybe. I'm not sure, man. It's way back there.
Yeah, that's going back. Yeah, I think he started in like 83, 84, but maybe he was on the air before that doing rock and roll. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it was a bit of that, but there's also some talk. I remember that.
Yeah.
And the AM would skip nice from there up to Wyoming, so that's kind of what we listened to.
Well,
and
yeah, go ahead.
He's got a smooth voice. I'm just going to say, really smooth.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a really nice guy from what I picked up from that interview.
Yeah, smooth. He definitely taught everybody how to be smooth. There's no doubt about it. That's part of connecting with your audience and just having that calming voice, and he definitely had that. Thank you so much, Phil. Be safe and be well.
Oh, you bet, man. You too, man.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
You too.
Bye.
Let's stay on the phones. Thank you, Phil. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Deb from Sacramento.
Hi, Deb. How are you?
Hi, Jimmy. Good. Hey, I was listening earlier on my phone, and then my friend called me and interrupted the show, so I missed the whole segment about oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Rappoport. I missed his whole thing tonight. But before we hung up the phone, I was like, I gotta let you go. I'm late. I'm missing my show. And I tell him about the show all the time and try to get him to listen. And he goes, he knows about the platform and what kind of show it is. He goes, hey, ask this host, what's his name? I go, Jimmy Church. He goes, ask him a question for me. He goes, ask him a question. If he's a true radio guy, he'll know what this means. I said, okay. He goes, ask him if he'll play Misty for you. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, he'll know. And what? I have no idea. What is that?
I think he's going, man, I want to, maybe he's, I got to defer that to Rita. Is he talking about talk radio?
He was laughing like it was a joke. Like, he goes, tell him to play Misty for you. I was like,
okay.
What is that? No?
I don't know. Well, I
don't know either.
Well,
okay.
I know the song.
He would know.
I mean, we all know the song for sure, but
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, what else is on your mind?
Okay. So forget all of that with him. Okay. My question was, last night, I loved hearing you and Jason talking about, not going to the negative and not letting it into your life and how it's, all the bad effects about it. How do we draw the line, though, between shutting out the negative and still being able to, I'm interested in your opinion on this. We want to be able to shine the light on bad things in the world and expose them to end them, like, and not to go too dark here, but animal abuse or human trafficking or, how Corey talks about, slave labor on Mars. Not that we don't have enough problems on this planet, so we don't need to go there. But how do you find the balance between exposing stuff that we want to end, but yet not being negative?
Well, that's everybody's got their own flavor and their own interest, and I'm talking about show hosts and programming out there, and they choose to focus on certain things, and I leave it to them, and that's it. I mean, it would be like, some sports show, and some caller calls in and goes, "Hey man, I want to talk about fuel mileage on a car." And it's like, dude, what do you that's not what we, it would be like that. And so it's just not what I do, and so I mean, when I deal with negativity all the time, it's just not what I do. And it's not about the negativity side of it. It's just that I don't study it. I don't look into it. I don't, I speak about those things that I know about. And I bring on guests where my interests are, my knowledge, so I can engage in a conversation. But if I bring on somebody that wants to talk about the benefits of using wheeled luggage, well, I don't know anything about that. And so what kind of conversation, Play Misty for Me, Clint Eastwood movie. He played a late night DJ. That's funny.
Wow.
I saw the movie and I cannot remember it. Rita coming in strong. Play Misty for Me, 1971 American psychological thriller film directed and starring Clint Eastwood in his directorial debut. Jessica Walter and Donna Mills co-star. Oh, really? The original music score was composed by Dee Barton. In the film, Eastwood plays the role of a radio disc jockey being stalked by an obsessed female fan.
No wonder he told me to ask you that. I guess all the female Fadernauts are stalkers now.
So Deb, you're an obsessed fan, and your friend knows it.
No.
Okay.
Well, I didn't.
All right.
I did have that dream about you and Rita showing up at my house to broadcast, remember? So there you go.
I do remember that. So, that's funny. That's funny.
That is funny, actually.
I haven't crossed that line yet. I don't think I have any obsessed fans. Deb, behave and be well. Have a great night.
You too, Jimmy.
And tell your friend we figured it out. I'll talk to you.
I will.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Play Misty for Me. I remember the movie. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Megan. How you doing, Jimmy?
How are you, Megan?
I'm okay. I have so much love to ooze that it's going to be insane. I just want to say I couldn't have gotten through the first year of my issues without art. And I attribute it to a guy who took the chance of putting all of his old stuff onto YouTube. It started with his channel was Y or something, and he got it turned off, but he just kept putting it up over and over and over again. I think he was really close to the family, so he just kept doing it.
Right.
But I was like, I can't pick one, but I can tell you the ones that I was most entertained were the ones that were pretty relevant today, even like about the guy who created the portal that he was going to use on himself, and then I forget what his name was, but he got in trouble, got put into jail because he stole all these huge breakers.
Oh yeah. No, are you talking? I think you're talking about Dr. Bell out of San Diego. That was a great show. And he blew out the electricity on the block as he tried to fire up the portal. That was a great show.
It was a young guy. It wasn't an old guy. It was a young guy who got put into jail because he stole a couple of breakers, some kind of breakers that were going to power up his.
I remember that. Right. Yeah, I remember that show.
And he used it on some inanimate object, and he goes, well, I'm going to use it on myself next.
Right.
And I was like, call me first. He's like, call me before you do it. Make sure I am there because I got to see this.
Yes.
And then his interview style, I swear, I've been inspired by him. I've been kind of coming up with sketching some ideas on some of what I want to do. But, his interview style is just so beautiful. And you use it, and the guy from Leak Project uses it, Rex. He's really good about, kind of slipping it in when people don't know what's happening, and I like it because it's kind of like it takes the person back and kind of not tries to catch them at anything, but it kind of baselines what the discussion is about. If the person is kind of pulling everybody's leg, everyone's going to, like you said, the UFO community is really good about policing ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to do it is by not being a jerk and going, hi, you're a total false person, but it's about kind of going, let's pull everything out, unpackage it, let everybody see all the details, and then let everybody make the decisions.
Right.
Which brings me to Jason. I have a newfound respect for him after last night. I have to be honest. Before that, I listened to a few of his interviews, and I was like, I'm kind of in the mid range of okay, I'm almost putting my, little toe in the water of the that's why this ESETI thing is going to be very interesting for me. It's going to be kind of immersion, for me, with all of the, real spirituality side of things. But Jason's take on everything is really balanced, and and the way that he expresses it, he talks about, let's talk about the experience and, and not put your beliefs on, because a lot of people make a lot of speculative conjecture speak against what they experience. Like they, I saw a UFO and they downloaded all this stuff and the world's going to end in a week. And it's a little hard to catch, for us, middle people in the UFO community. So I just want to say I have a newfound respect for Jason in kind of setting the baseline and balance for the discussion. I'm really excited about. I wish I would have heard it before I signed up for ESETI because I already signed up for somebody else, but hopefully I'll get to hear him.
You'll get to hang out with him. Don't even worry about that. You're going to have 4 days of Jason Quit. You'll be sick of him at the end. But you're right about the show last night. I got so much great feedback from the show, and he had that little cough at the beginning. At the end, he had talked through that and everything was fine. And it was the distraction of the cough subliminally forces your brain to go into other areas that you wouldn't necessarily go into. And that's what he did last night. That's what he did. And the feedback has just been amazing on that show. And I know that he was, self-conscious about the cough. It didn't matter. in
it's
the
just
end.
a lot of people respect him because I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Apparently, if you can pause and still hold people's attention, and at the end of that pause, you still have people's attention, that means people respect him. So that means people respect it.
Thank you so much.
listen.
You're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Megan, and be safe.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Great phone call right there. And I'm just going to keep it rolling. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Oh, and lost that one. So let's go to the next one. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy, this is Ken from Irvine. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Ken from Irvine. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you for taking my call. Hey, I didn't hear because I was dialing. Did you get the answer for Play Misty for me?
Yes, Clint Eastwood, 1971, Thriller, played a DJ, stalked by an obsessed female fan.
Oh, it was gruesome movie. Great fun. Yep. So the Art Bell thing, I just discovered Art about a year ago, and I had never heard him before. And now I listen to him like every night. I get off of work, I go home, and I listen to Art Bell all night.
Yeah, well, we all did, and it's pretty cool. What's your so you've only discovered Art in the last year, so you didn't listen to Art when he was live, which is fine.
No.
I mean, the shows are cool, but from what you've listened to in the last year, what's your do you have a favorite show?
Well, Mel's Hole was great.
Yep.
JC was always amusing. But the one thing is the guy who flew over Area 51.
Right.
I'm dying to find out what happened with that guy, if anybody ever found out.
That's the big mystery out there. What happened to the Area 51 pilot?
Right?
That's a great phone call. That's a really good one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Ken. Great phone call. Thank you so much. And
Good night.
I hung up on the wrong line. I'll talk to you, Ken. Thank you.
Okay, Jimmy. Good night.
I just hung up on the wrong line. You gotta love it. All right, let me see here. Oh man, I just feel guilty. Okay, let's see. Let's go to this one. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. This is Bob from Arcadia, Ohio.
Hi, Bob.
Long time no talk.
How are you, Bob?
Oh, I'm doing good, Jimmy.
What's on your mind?
Okay. Yeah, Art Bell, man, I started listening to him back in the 90s. I used to be lead fabricator for a corrugated pipe company. I used to make the elbows, or my shop did. And so a guy worked under me told me about it, so we tuned him in one night, and we were hooked after that.
Right on. Well,
yeah, I got an autographed copy of his and Whitley Strieber's book.
Oh, the global, what was that called? Oncoming global superstorm.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, do you have a favorite show?
Oh God, there's so many of them. I mean, I don't know. I can't really just put one. It's been so many years ago, and I had a stroke since then, so things get a little jumbled.
Yeah, I hear you there. But you're right. So many shows are on the same level. They're just on the same level of greatness. And he'll be missed, man. There's no doubt about it. And
well, in fact, it was through him that I found your show. Because I'd pop on his website after he retired, and then I seen where he was doing the Dark Matter Network, and oh, cool. So I looked it up, and then, of course, he was on. It's like, oh, wow, this guy's pretty cool, too.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we all owe a lot to Art, and
yeah.
And if you found me through that, then life is good, and I thank you for that, Bob.
Oh yeah. But it was a pretty good journey while he was there, and so
yeah, I know it hurts, it hurts, and
yeah,
there's so many years there, and the catalog and all of those old shows, they'll be there forever, and so we have to thank him for that. Thank you so much, Bob. Be safe and be well.
Oh, you too, Jimmy. I just had to call and share that.
Absolutely, Bob. And give my best to Bev.
I will do.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And this is what I want to do. Rita gave me the clearance for this. So we're going to do this for the next hour. She gave me the permission for all first-time callers tonight. In the next hour, all of the first-time callers that call in, Fade to Black mug. Okay? Fade to Black coffee mug. First-time callers. We're just going to have some fun tonight. All right, let's go to area code 503. You're up next on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Seriously, Jimmy, you hung up on me.
No, I didn't.
It's Susie Q.
Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, it's all that weed you're smoking. You thought I hung up on you.
No, not live.
Okay, so what's
You're
up?
Calling me out on air again.
Yes,
wow.
yes. I have to. That was a great picture of you and Frankie earlier, by the way. Frankie with the banana. So,
and it was taken in Bali, too. That was so funny.
Oh, that is cool. What's on your mind tonight, Susie?
Forest. So I wanted to talk to you about the opioid problem. Funny me, I should want to talk about that, right?
Right.
So one of the things that really concerns me about this issue, actually a couple of things. Our Western medicine system here really looks at symptoms, treating symptoms. And, you know, it used to be years ago, give a pill, you're in pain, have a pill, you're all good. They were doling it out, dishing it out. And, of course, now we have a problem and very few alternatives. But then we have people who have chronic issues. And that's where I really have concerns because now we're like pulling back, going, no, we can't give them that. We can't give them that. We have to get these people off these pain meds. But these people have some serious chronic pain issues that really Western medicine is not dealing with from a what's the cause. Let's look at mind, body, emotional, spirit, not just the physical symptoms. We're not looking at other alternatives like acupuncture or reflexology or some of the other alternatives that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, insurance, for the most part, isn't paying for it either. And it really is leaving people in such a dilemma. You know, where do they go? They don't necessarily want to be on these pain meds. They get the horrible constipation from it and all the other symptoms from it.
Right.
But they don't have, there's no alternatives in Western medicine, and particularly no alternatives that insurance companies will pay for. They'll pay for the pills, but, you know, they'll drop the ball the rest of the way.
Well, see, and look, and Susie, thank you for the phone call. I got to head to a break right here, but you bring up one of the most important points, which is this. They can't profit on acupuncture. They can't profit on a healthy alternative. They can't profit on maybe it's your diet. Maybe it's a vitamin. Maybe you're lacking in something. But they can't profit in that. So they're not going to look into it. If there's not $1 billion to be made on a solution, there isn't going to be a solution. And that's just the way that it is.
Well, and then even when people go out and seek alternatives, boy, there are so many alternatives. It's like, which healer do I go to? Do I go to this one? Do I do this diet? Is this vitamin going to help me? Is this tea going to help me? Is this, and then there's a lot of shysters in that field as well that are trying to profit off things that aren't proven, or maybe they call themselves a healer and they can do this, that, and some other magical thing, and they're really full of crap themselves.
That's exactly right.
You're really stuck. You're really stuck.
Thank you so much for the phone call, Susie. You're the best.
All right. Good talking to you again. All right. Bye-bye.
Always. Thank you so much. Fadernight, Thursday night. Thank you, Susie Q. All right. We're going to do this starting the next hour. First-time callers, Fade to Black coffee mug. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go Beckley Tappy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader Nights. Open lines all night long. 323-825-5045. 323-275-9695. Rita just sent me a message in here. She said, Megan deserves a coffee mug. So, Megan, if you're listening, write Rita at jimmychurchradio.com. Send us your address. We'll get a coffee mug out there. And, yeah, so, you know what? I just want to have some fun tonight. So we're going to first-time callers, coffee mug right here. The Fade to Black coffee mug from River Moon Coffee. River Moon on one side, Fade to Black on the other. Really nice mugs. First-time callers. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Good evening, Jim. This is Mike from Montana.
I'm sorry. Oh, man, I just coughed. I didn't use my cough button on the air. How rude of me. What was your name?
This is Mike. I'm in Montana.
Mike, how are you, man? First-time caller.
Pretty good.
There you go.
I am a first-time caller.
What part of Montana?
But we have talked. I'm up in the northeast corner, about 60 miles from both Canada and North Dakota.
Man, you're
kind of in the corner here.
Way up there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind tonight, Mike?
Well, I just started listening to the show a couple nights ago, and I heard you mention something about you were going to pull a Strat off the wall for a poster. I was just wondering, really?
I was going to. Oh, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, what? Well, that's what I would have to do. You know?
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
not that you would want to do it.
No.
Okay.
No.
Are we talking about American Strat here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, American Strats.
Yeah.
Yep.
What year?
I've got a bunch.
If you don't mind me asking.
I've got a bunch.
Okay.
I've got a bunch.
All right,
and
cool.
Yeah, you should, there's plenty of pictures online, and if you go to the bunker cam, you can go to the bunker cam now and check out what's behind me. Yeah, they're all. I'm just looking around. I'm a Strat guy, I'm just a Strat guy. What do you have?
I have a Strat, a Telly, and now I'm actually working on the '94 Gibson that I built.
Right.
Back in '94. I mean, I'm trying to actually acquire one of my custom builds.
Yeah, I'm an American Strat guy. I like if I go vintage, 74, 73, 72 were great years. You go before that, 66, 65 great years. 58 was a great year. All expensive, but those are all really cool. Some of the new stuff that is out. The 70s American Strat is really, really cool. Yeah, I'm with you on that. American all the way. I've got a lot of friends that work for Fender, and it's just a great company.
Well, I enjoy the show. I'll continue listening, and I wouldn't hang that poster if it meant pulling down like a car. No way.
You're right. Thank you so much, Mike. Now, listen, what you need to do, write Rita at jimmychurchradio.com and send her your address. We'll put one of these mugs in the mail to you.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night, Mike.
You too.
That's a great phone call right there. Guitar player, first-time caller. That's what I'm talking about. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Dean, truck driver in California.
Dean, truck driving in California. No kidding. Okay, so you're driving and talking on the phone at the same time.
Yes, and I have my earpieces in.
I'm just making sure, Dean.
Yes, I'm following the law. I'm not a first-time caller, but I did love Art Bell. I actually caught him, the first time was right before he retired in 2001. So I got to listen to him live a few times, and I was actually listening to Coast live the other night when the news broke and George broke down. And it caught me a little bit, too. I got a little misty-eyed. I love listening to Art. He would make the miles pass in the truck.
Yeah, there's no question about that, Dean. No question. And one of when I'm hosting over at Coast, one of my favorite things to do is take phone calls from the truck drivers, man. OTR. And when I see a truck driver pop up on the phone list, I'll pick that up first. First off, I don't want you guys on hold for a half an hour. That's the first thing, right? I don't want that distraction. But the OTR guys out there and gals, I've taken phone calls from both, of course. But you guys are the lifeblood of America, man. And you guys are out there doing your thing, and you're working. And you're listening to me, and listening to Coast, listening to Fade to Black right now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It just makes me feel great. And just thank you for that, Dean. And thank you for all that you do. And I really mean that.
Jimmy, real quick, thank you for everything you do. And 3 things real quick. Thank you for your father's service to our country. That's really appreciated. It allows us to do what we do out here. Secondly, my 2 favorite episodes from Art Bell are anything having to do with John Teeter.
Right.
And his first interview with Jason Martell, where he called Jason Martell the child of Zachariah Sitchin.
Yes, man, and you're right about that. That was those were great phone calls, and I'm sitting here listening or thinking as I'm listening to you, the first Jonathan Reed interview. That one was incredible. When he goes into the forest, he's walking his dog. His dog gets eaten and killed by E.T., goes up to the craft, goes home. The whole the Men in Black. You remember the photographs of the E.T. in his freezer out in the garage?
Yeah.
Those were.
I love that episode.
Yep. Incredible. Incredible.
I actually had to go back and listen to that on I'm going to say this, I had to go back and listen to it on YouTube a few times because I thought I was hearing things when he said he had that alien freezer.
Yep, and it's a crazy video, man. And the ET comes alive. Man, that's just, man, that was radio magic. So, and
two,
go ahead.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's you, man.
I was going to say, 2 things I remember about Art all the time is he was obsessed with time travel, and he always wanted to hear about the life after that thing. And may he rest in peace. I guess he's going to find out now.
You got that right, Dean. Be safe out there, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you so much. And I'm serious. Truckers will always get to the front of the line. And let's see. Let's go to area code 605. You're up next.
Hello. This is Laura in South Dakota.
Laura in South Dakota. How are you?
Good, Jimmy. I just had to call in to let you know that my mother used to listen to Art Bell many years ago. And when she was very ill and kind of, ready to pass, she would listen to him all night long. And she kind of turned me on to Art Bell. And in fact, the first time I ever heard Dr. Michio was, through Art Bell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
He was just a terrific broadcaster, and he gave comfort to a lot of people late at night that really needed it. I know my mother was just fascinated by his programs. And the one thing I regret, she had asked to see his website. And she didn't have a computer, and I was visiting her in Minneapolis, and I was never able to show her his website.
Oh.
So this is, many years ago. But
right.
Anyway, I was very thankful for him and what he was able to, the comfort he gave my mom.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the phone call. Right, Rita, you're a first-time caller. And thank you for that. And just write Rita at jimmychurchradio.com, and give us your address. We'll pop one of these mugs in the mail to you.
Jimmy, thank you so much. You met my husband, by the way, at NAM.
I did.
Yeah, and my daughter.
Oh, I remember those two. Your daughter is
a funky phone.
Yes,
my gorgeous daughter.
Yeah, your daughter was really cool, but your husband. Well, they were both cool. I don't want to say that your daughter's cooler than your husband, but the two of them were amazing. But I'm going to say this: what was his name? Bruce had a phone from 1998. And
he does. He's proud of it.
Yeah, I would be proud of that thing. It was cool. Little teeny tiny phone. And
and he still goes every month and buys a few minutes on it. He wants to keep. He doesn't want to be identified by electronics, so he's very proud of his.
Oh, he's identified.
Phone.
He's identified for sure now. No doubt about that. But they were both very, very cool, and just thank you for that. And don't forget to write Rita And
Okay, will do.
We'll send you 2 mugs so you guys can have a matching set, okay?
Hey, that's really kind.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jimmy.
Don't forget to write. You got to write Rita, or it ain't going to happen.
Will do.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great phone call right there. I do remember meeting the 2 of them at the Tascam booth. Absolutely. All right, let's go to area code 402. You're up next on Fade to Black.
402. That is the heart of Nebraska, Jimmy. This is Emily. I'm a first-time caller, but actually a first-time listener too.
Oh, really? How did that happen? How did that happen?
Okay, so here's how that happens. So I'm hanging out in a basement bar with Brian from Nebraska. Okay. And he pulled me in to the basement bar, and he has this whole thing down here. I guess it's called the Sandbox. He's got you up on the big screen. He's got his laptop down here with people from all over the country talking, and I'm completely fascinated. But it's awesome, and the synchronicity of it is that Brian is the first one to ever expose me to coast radio about 4 years ago.
Right.
And I happened to be in Sedona on Friday, and he texted me that Art Bell had passed. And to me, Coast and Brian go hand in hand. We even had a couple UFO experiences together. I had a major one here in Nebraska. Huge experience, and then he experienced one with me in my backyard, and so we've kind of always had this connection that goes along with coast and things supernatural and things of the spiritual world, and I don't know, I think it's just fantastic, and I'm glad he exposed me to this tonight.
So help me understand what's really going on. You're telling me that you're on the phone right now, you've called in, first-time call, that is great, but you're looking at me on a big screen TV.
So he's got this huge bar configured. He's got a big screen TV where we can see you live.
I'm waving at you right now, Emily.
Fantastic.
Are you watching?
Well, there's a little... Hi. Yeah, there's a little delay. I see you waving, but yes, there's a little delay.
Okay, so there you go.
Yes.
All right.
So you're on the big screen, and then he's got the Sandbox with all the people from across the country. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, the world, I'm noticing, and connecting people from everywhere on topics that are just completely fascinating. I love it.
Well, thank you so much. And write Rita, and we'll get you a couple of mugs in the mail. Well, no, only one. Brian doesn't get one. No, Brian doesn't get one.
Brian's not a first-time listener. No. I don't know.
We totally need this for the F3B bar, my brother.
Oh, see, do you see what he made you do, Emily?
What did he made me do?
That was his. He doesn't care, Emily. He doesn't care about you. He wants his mug.
Is he using me for a mug? Is that what I'm hearing here?
I'm throwing him under the bus. All right. All right.
Hey, can I break in here? Can I break in here for a minute?
Yeah, Brian.
Do you remember the call on Art had on when the guy hit Bigfoot driving his truck?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And he had him in the freezer. He had him in the freezer in his basement, and then Art had to drop the call because he didn't want to be like a accessory or something.
Yeah. I totally remember that. Good. Another great. See, the thing is, and no matter what, Art pulled it off every single night, and there was always some kind of magic. There was never a dull show. But do you remember the Happy Birthday show where everybody called up and said Happy Birthday? And it was just like Happy Birthday, Art, click, Happy Birthday, Art, click, Happy Birthday, Art, click, Happy Birthday. It was just like he did it like 500 times. Oh man, just radio magic.
So I have to ask a question. Did you start over on Dark Matter?
Yes.
How did I ever miss you? I just don't understand that, man.
No, I was. I think we
remember when
we were there for 2 years, something like that, year and a half, 2 years, I think. A year.
Was it the time when Art came back out of retirement?
It's when he left. Yeah. He came on and then left, and then we went over. I don't think he wasn't on Dark Matter. I can't.
No, you're right. It was Midnight in the Desert, wasn't it?
Right. He left Sirius XM, And when he left Sirius XM, we went over the week after that, I think. It was such a long time ago. I don't remember the exact timing.
We just missed each other. But then I found you.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, you got a mug out of it. So
Emily got a mug. Emily's the best. You know what? Remember the Michael Lee Hill interview?
Which one?
It would have been October.
Okay.
I think that's kind of when I popped in. You know what? I think that experience that Michael said when he had the meditation, and then he was out in the backyard, and then he saw the UFO.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So it was so exactly similar to what Emily and I experienced when this is like 05. I think I wrote you an email about it. Yeah, when I first came on, I was like, "Is this really happening? Am I really hearing this stuff exactly the same?" It sounded exactly the same. Yeah.
Really? His photographs that night were really were just amazing. He had
same exact thing. Right. Same exact thing. Triangular craft, right above the trees, blocking out the stars. It was middle of the night, but still, it was. Yeah, you could not a sound, not a light, reflective bottom, and you could. It was so low you could hear it cut the air.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, you guys are down in the bar, right?
Right on.
Okay, so pour a couple of shots.
That's right.
Do it right now.
I'm ready.
Go Beckley Teppy. Go Beckley Teppy. All right?
Beckley Teppy.
Go Beckley Teppy, brother.
All right, cheers.
Okay,
Cheers.
Emily, I'll talk to you, Brian. You guys have a great time. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Dave. Bye-bye.
Have a great night. That's a cool call right there. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Is this me?
Yes, you're live.
Oh, hey, man. I wasn't sure if you're talking to me. I can't hear on the radio. I'm out here looking at my telescope, waiting for Jupiter to pop up. Listening to your show, man.
Oh, that doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Yeah, I'm right here in the Hollywood area, Silver Lake to be exact.
Right.
And man, Art Bell, dude, that was a bummer. I was actually out here looking at my telescope as well. It was early in the morning. Jupiter's coming out about 2 in the morning right now. So right now I'm looking at the crescent moon, waiting around for Jupiter to pop up at 2. So, there's a lot of time in between. So I listened to you guys, man, and that was a bummer when I saw that. Actually, it was just a little hashtag on the Coast to Coast that said R.I.P. Art Bell, and I thought, is that a joke?
Right. Yeah, we were all very cautious about that on Friday night. As
you saw that too? You saw that too?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to the Coast site, but all of us were in touch with each other and. Just trying to get official confirmation because we were thinking the same things. We had to be very careful about that.
Yeah, it's on the Paranormal app, and you have the little windows with all the different stations and all the programs.
Right.
On the bottom of the Coast to Coast one, it said RIP, and I thought, man, that's trippy. So I looked online, didn't see anything. There's a site called Dead or Alive, and you can look for people to see if they're alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still, he still had the happy face. He was alive. So I looked, but then I looked on the Wikipedia, it was already on there.
Yeah, Wikipedia updated pretty quick. What was your favorite Art Bell show?
Man, there's so many, but time travel is a subject I really, really enjoy. And so all the time travel shows that he had were cool, fun, all that trippy stuff, all the John Teeter stuff when all that was coming out. I was listening to that.
That was big time. That was big time. The John Teeter faxes.
Yeah, I'm a cartoonist, so I would stay up late night and work on projects, and Art Bell was right there, man, keeping me going. Coffee and Art Bell. But I have to say, Michio Kaku, when he had that guy on the radio, that was really cool. Every time I listened to all the reruns over, and even if I heard it already, I'll listen to it again. There's always something you missed, and you'll hear it again and again.
Well, thank
you.
you.
Really awesome.
What was your name again?
Oh, my name's Amos.
Amos, don't forget to write Rita at jimmychurchradio.com, and we'll get you a mug in the mail all the way to Silver Lake from Burbank. Couple blocks.
Awesome, dude. Thanks a lot, man. Awesome. You're great, dude. Really dig. You got a smooth voice, too, dude. You got it going on.
So do you, Amos. All right? Now go watch Jupiter, and we'll get that mug in the mail to you.
Yep. All right, man. Thanks. Take it easy, dude.
Have a great night. Thank you so much.
You too.
It's another great phone call right there. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hey, you got Tony, Trucker Tony from Pennsylvania.
Trucker Tony from Pennsylvania. Are you in Pennsylvania trucking right now, Tony?
No, unfortunately, I've been sidelined with. I had to have my prostate removed in February. And, no.
Okay.
I wish I was.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, you are Trucker Tony from Pennsylvania. So what's on your mind tonight, Tony?
Well, yeah, Art Bell was, that's the reason I originally got XM Radio back in late 80s. And Art was my mainstay driving cross country. I have well over 4 million miles accident ticket violation free before I got sidelined there. And my favorite episode with him was the one where the dude flew into Area 51.
One of the great shows.
Yeah, and we still don't know what happened to that guy. Huh?
No, nobody knows what happened to him.
And we had to. Go ahead.
No, see, the thing is, when you're, because I used to drive, late at night, and I would drive around and, on business and doing my thing. And that was my favorite thing to do, was to listen to Art while I was driving. I don't know why it went together so well, but it got to the point where I couldn't drive without listening to Art Bell. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what you, and that's the same with you. I listen, I'm a Fadernight. I'm not going to be able to renew right now because I have no income right now. I had to have a second surgery because the first surgery, my incision opened up 2 weeks after, and everything came spilling out my hands, and I had to have another surgery. So I'm sidelined now for I don't know how long.
Well, but the great thing is, Tony, you can listen to this show for free, and that's one of the things that we're so happy about, is that this broadcast is free. You can dial, you can listen free on your phone. You can listen on the internet. You can go and listen to all of the replays on YouTube. Everything is free. And I'm just glad that you're able to listen to us every single night, and that's what's most important.
Every night I listen to you. Every night I don't care for Nori. I love Coast to Coast, but I don't care for George. That's my opinion. But you rock. You rock, buddy. You rock, Jimmy. Love you to death.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tony. And, write Rita right now, Rita at jimmychurchradio.com, and we'll get you one of these really cool Fade to Black mugs out there to Pennsylvania. All right?
Okay, thanks. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you, Tony.
Fadernight rock.
Thank you, man. Be safe and be well, Tony. Write Rita.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Great phone call right there. Trucker Tony from Pennsylvania. Looking at the clock here, I got to take a break, so we'll do that. We'll get this out of the way. And more of your phone calls next. One last segment, Thursday night, Fadernight. If you're on hold, stay right there. We'll get to everybody before the end of the night. Okay? I'll do my best. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. It's Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. First-time callers will get you a Fade to Black coffee mug. I'll be right back.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at natureyouth.com. Natureyouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at natureyouth.com. That's natureyouth.com.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Best night of the week. I just love phone calls, talking to everybody, and just hanging out. And with that, let's go to area code 205. You're up next.
Good evening, Jimmy.
Good evening.
This is JP from Birmingham, Alabama.
JP from Birmingham, Alabama. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. It's been a lot of driving today, but first-time caller into the show. I've been listening since this past November, actually. It was really just a fortuitous set of circumstances. For the life of me, I can't remember who was the first person to turn me on to your show, but I've been hooked from night one. I've been really just thankful to have been along for the ride for, so many great guests, and obviously back in December, the day of disclosure, really what I called in to say, I got two things for you. One, at the beginning of the show, I heard you went through this day in history, and I don't know if you remarked April 19th is Bicycle Day. Are you familiar with that?
As in bicycles?
No. Well, as in, so in 1943, a Swiss chemist by the name of Albert Hofmann, he was responsible for synthesizing the chemical that became known as the widely popular psychedelic LSD.
Yeah,
and
that
today was the 19th of April in 43 was the first day that he ingested a psychoactive dose, and that timeless story of him riding his bike home and
right. Well, actually, okay. So, JP, check this out. Over today is Thursday. Over the weekend, and it would have been Saturday or Sunday. I read an article about that day, which would have been, I think it was April 15th. That was the day that he did the dose. The bicycle story. So yes, I believe.
Fascinating.
That was the day. April 15th was the day he did the accidental ingestion. Then he went back.
Correct.
Yeah, then he went back and did the second dose.
Yeah.
And
fascinating stuff.
Right, and that's when he rode his bike home. But I believe that's correct. But we have to think about what Albert Hofmann was doing back then. He may have even gotten his dates a little messed up. But
well said. Well said.
You're
I just wanted to run one more thing past you. Something I've noticed just over the past week, the caliber of the guests you're bringing on and the relevance of the topics. I find myself, every conversation I get into with friends somehow wraps back around to some topic. I know just last night, towards the end of the evening, you were discussing how the amazing synchronicities that go along with UFO and other similar sightings.
Yep.
And I actually just read an extensive Facebook comment from a friend of mine today who was describing his theory just in immense detail about how the consciousness of the caller or the witness to this thing really does play a very discrete and very real role in perhaps even what, say there are, intelligences, entities responsible for responding actively to our awareness. I think it's a hard pill for some people to swallow, but I think everybody gets everything in its due time. There's a season for everything, and I think the work that you're doing, has just brings such great information, such great perspective, and such great vibes to so many people every night. I look forward to Fade to Black every night when I get home and rocking out to Fadernight 1. I just want to thank you and Rita and all the Fadernauts. I'm not up on Twitter yet or anything, but like I said, a first-time caller, and I'll be a lifetime listener.
Thank you so much, JP. I really appreciate the words. And don't forget, Rita at jimmychurchradio.com. Just write her, pop her an email, and get us your address, and we'll get one of these really cool Fade to Black mugs out there to you, and you'll be drinking coffee for a lifelong evenings filled with Fade to Black. All right, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Go back, Tepe.
Go back, Tepe. Thank you so much, JP. That's a real Fadernaut right there. That's a real phone call. And thank you so much for that. And he's so right. Last night talking with Jason about these synchronicities that happen, and at the same time with these sightings, I'm of the opinion, partly because I have a loud mouth, and I love hanging out in a crowd. And I like getting everybody fired up and things, because that's what I do. I've done that my entire life, and that's that. But when we do these night watches, there's a few different ways to do these CE5 type things. And some people like to meditate and be calm, and you can't talk and you've got to focus. I get that. And if that works for you, cool. I'm the exact opposite. I'm the polarized flip side of that. I want everybody yelling and screaming and laughing and just a party type atmosphere. And that's what works for me and for us. I'm the exact opposite. I've been to different events where it's been, shh, and I can't do that. I can't do that. I'll blow the moment for everybody. All right, so let's go to Steve in Bluefield. I got to do this. Steve, how are you?
This is Steve from Bluefield. Jimmy, first time caller. I can't believe I got on.
You'd do anything for a mug. Hey, see, I've got one of yours, so I've got to send you one of mine.
Oh, cool.
So what's on your mind?
I'll send something to read. Well, I believe my favorite Art Bell was probably the ones he did with Bob Lazar.
Yeah, Bob Lazar. Yeah. Bob Lazar. Those and you're also going back a long ways. And,
right.
And you know what's great about that? George Knapp and I'm trying to think of Bob's partner, his name. Oh, it just escapes me right now. But anyway, that was a golden era for all of ufology. Area 51 kicking off. Art is in the desert in Las Vegas. Bob Lazar, George Knapp breaking the story and for the Las Vegas News out there on television, and all of this stuff happening at the same time. Just, Art, can you imagine being at the right place at the right time like he was to have all of that kick off? And not only, hats off to all of them, to Bob and to George and Art, but it was everything, the universe, the stars and the moon aligned, man, and it made for the best radio ever. And you're right about that. That early days, 94,
right? Because that got me, that's what kind of really got me really into the UFO subject and the phenomena. I'm only 42, so in 93 and 94, I was a senior in high school, and I'm hearing this, and I'm just mesmerized that this is going on, out in Las Vegas, and it was just it was incredible to hear it, and hear it coming from Art Bell and all the stuff that was going on. And, I'm trying to get, most people that at the time, where I'm from, when they were, seniors in high school, the last thing they wanted to listen to was Art Bell. Everybody was wanting to jam out and, listen to, Bon Jovi or whatever, Stone Temple Pilots and stuff like that, back in the day. And here I am wanting to listen to Art Bell. People are looking at me like, dude, are you, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, man, this stuff is going to, this is it's going to change the world, because I did at the time, I really thought that, that information, when it come out like that, to me back then, I thought that was disclosure. Hearing that, I'm like, how can they stop disclosure now? The government has got to tell the truth, about this. I was still, blind and, believing that, our government was, for the people. And I didn't have any idea of the military-industrial complex. All that come later on for me. But at the time, it was mind-blowing and an eye-opener for me. And then once I heard that, and I started doing more research, and then started to realize that no, we weren't going to get some kind of disclosure, that they're going to suppress this information, and they're going to make Bob Lazar look like a quack. And that kind of was when I first heard about Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yeah, and so, and see, this is and Mystic Coder just popped up in Twitter with Gene Huff. That was
Gene Huff.
Yeah, Gene Huff, Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar worked for Gene. I believe what it was when they went out to John Lear's house. John needed like an estimate on his house. He was going to like refinance or something. So Gene Huff shows up out at the house, and he's got Lazar with him, helping him measure the rooms, right? And that's how cool is that? That it's all things happen for a reason, right? All synchronicities. And then it was later that Bob Lazar went to go and work for S4. That happened later. But that's how that whole relationship happened way back in the very beginning. Those original Bob Lazar videotapes, I believe Gene Huff paid for those. I'm pretty sure he was like he probably owned a video camera and they went out and shot it. But I think Gene Huff was, he was the guy. He was like the producer, and how fortunate.
And, they went out there, several times, and,
they videotaped.
I think I remember one time, John Lear was talking. I guess he had I think I remember him in a video saying that he had a gun with him or something, and they had hid the gun underneath the seat or something, and they had they got pulled over by the
Nye County Sheriff, right?
Oh, and man. It was just a big, and then when they finally did see, John Lear finally saw what they were there to see. It was there when
they videotaped.
When Bob Lazar said, "Hey, you're gonna see this craft between a certain time," and it was there.
Yep, they videotaped it. It's a very famous videotape. And those, again, just radio magic. And we have all of those archives to go back and listen to each one of these shows. Steve, thank you so much, my friend. Behave and be well, and have a great weekend. Send Rita your address, will you? Don't forget.
I won't forget, brother.
Thank you so much, Steve. Behave.
As always, brother Jimmy. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. And go and write Rita right now. There's one night that we haven't mentioned yet. I haven't. David Adair. The first David Adair night on Coast to Coast. Holy smokes. What a night that was. I've listened to like the original Jonathan Reed and Mel's Hole and David Adair. I've listened to that show probably 10 times. That was just an incredible, incredible night on Coast to Coast. David Adair. Rita, we got to get David Adair on the show. Got to get David Adair. Maybe we can do that next week. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Who's this?
This is Scott.
Oh, hey, Scott. How are you?
Horrible. Just absolutely horrible.
Why?
I'm only kidding. There's two people in this world that I thought was going to live forever, and that was Greg Allman and Art Bell.
Yeah, you're right about both.
Art Bell changed my whole worldview. Listening to Art stopped me in my tracks when I first heard him. The next day I got up and my whole world view had changed. Everything started to look different. And then, Jimmy, you came along and you destroyed everything.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Well, and see, I'll say this also about Art. We, just like Steve just brought up, Bob Lazar, right? Okay, yes, there is that. But Art brought so much forward. It wasn't just UFOs. It was the ghost stories, or it was the EVP recordings. Those were just, to this day, I remember those. And we can't forget, we got to go back. Art and his combination of the internet, right, and bringing out a website where he was able to post pictures. And so you go back to the original Richard Hoagland stuff when they were doing Cydonia. And Hoagland would have these images of Cydonia with the mapping out and the geometry and the mathematics. And so Art incorporated the website into the live show. And I was right there, man, with my laptop or my computer, and I'm listening to Art and Hoagland do those things together. It was just radio magic, man. And having the vision of a website, and combining that with the show, which is what we do today. Here on Fade to Black, and it's the combination of the two, and the way that I enjoyed it, the expansion of the imagination, where you're combining the visual images with the live broadcast at the same time. If I can capture a little taste of that magic, then I know we got something. And I thank Art for that. Absolutely. What was your favorite show?
It's funny you say that. Back, as far as I can remember, 95, Art Bell used to have this ghost-to-ghost thing on Halloween nights.
Yep.
There was a special he did, and a guy called in. It was relating a story that happened in 1975 up by Mount Olympus. And as I recall, that he used to go camping with some of his, I don't know, I think it was his army buddies or something. They would go into these campers. They'd take 3 or 4 of these campers up into the woods. And they were up there playing cards in the camper. And they heard all this, like, boulders, like some splashing in the water next to this river. And the first thing they thought was maybe it was a black bear or something. And so they started hearing all this growling, but it was like a growling that was not sounding like a bear. So these were guys, they said, I remember them saying they were like armed to the teeth with guns. These guys were so scared that they laid on the floor of this camper until 4:30 in the morning, until the light came up. They got out of the camper, walked around it, and all these boulders were circled around the camper. They had to move these boulders just so they could get the hell out of there, and they never went back there.
See, that's a great story, and that's a perfect radio. That's a perfect radio story. And I don't remember that phone call, but
that was a crazy story.
Yeah, and see, and it's funny what sticks with you, and that that sticks with you. There were so many of those ghost stories nights. And it stuck with me particularly because of the Bigfoot experience that I got. And I remember it sticking in my mind like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine being right there with them. Thank you so much, Scott. And behave and be well, my friend. And have a great weekend.
You too, my friend. You take care.
Thank you, Scott. And there you go. I got time for one more phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hello?
Yep, you're live.
Hey, this is Todd from Fayetteville, Arkansas. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good, Todd from Fayetteville, Arkansas. How are you?
Doing great. I just want to call in, and I called in a few weeks ago, actually, about to get some insider information on I was going to the Ozark Mountain UFO conference.
Right.
And you gave me some advice, and I went. And, Jimmy, I got to say, I won the lottery whenever I went to this thing, because I got the 3-day pass and I got the dinner, and whenever Linda Moulton Howe was finished speaking, I jumped up and ran to the restroom right quick. And I went back into the auditorium, and by that time, about all 300 people had left, except for about 10 that were all standing up at the podium talking to Linda.
Right.
And I walked right on back in, and I sat down right next to him, and we had her all to ourselves for like an hour and a half, and it was amazing just to sit there and, you know, listen to everybody's conversation, listen to everybody's story.
Well, what did you say to her? Did you say hi?
I did. You know, I honestly, you know, whenever I walked up, you know, I didn't want to be rude, so I just kind of like I sat in the front row, but everybody else was standing up right in front of the podium, you know.
Yeah.
And the conversations were going on, and then finally, you know, she brought up the Maya civilization, and you know, kind of like what Corey Good's talking about, you know, how they were kind of, I guess you could say, relocated to a different, relocated elsewhere because basically, I guess it would be a genetic evolution they were looking for. But, you know, she brought up the Maya evolution, the Maya culture, you know, supposedly being relocated, and I raised my hand, and I'm like, you know, the one thing that bothers me about that is that the Mayas sacrificed their own people. You know, and she, you know, she agreed with me, absolutely. That was, she was saying that was one of the things that she had thought of, too, that had raised questions in her mind. But, you know, that was just one thing in a nutshell. But there's a ton of information coming at you at these conferences. But, you know, about the dinner as well. And that was not assigned seating. And of all the places that Linda could have sat, she sits down next to me. So we did it for another 2 hours.
Oh, you got to sit with Linda and break bread.
Yes, I did. And the one thing probably that just, you know, blew me away out of all of it is she gave me a hug at the end of it.
No, she's great for that. She's great for that.
I got to meet Linda, Stan Friedman, Richard Dolan, Grant Cameron, Nick Redfern, and they all of their presentations blew me away. And the last thing I did before leaving on Sunday was pay for next year, so I'm going back.
Yeah, those conferences are amazing. And Todd, tell me, were there any Fade to Black shirts there?
I believe I saw one, Jimmy.
Oh, that's all I wanted to hear. One's enough.
So I believe you did have a present.
Yeah. No, you know, did you see Ray's Hobbs?
I did. As a matter of fact, his tech was still wiring stuff up, and I kind of interrupted and like, "Are you Mr. Hobbs?" And he was like, "Yeah." And shook his hand, you know, and he was just getting ready to move to Utah.
Yeah, they're in Utah now, and I mean, he's from Arkansas, so and his family is there. So for him to pull up stakes, and him and Robin heading off to Utah, you know, for KGRA. And the network is it's a big deal. He's really dedicated to KGRA, and I just I just wish him the best. It's a great state to move to. Utah is amazing. So it's hard for me to picture him in Utah, but I mean he's from Arkansas, you know, and that's where it's at for him. But him and Robin are going to keep the growth of KGRA going, and they're going to do that out of Utah. So Todd, thank you so much. I got to run credits and get out of here, man. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you had a great time at the Ozark Mountain UFO Conference.
Thanks, Jimmy. Go Beckley Tepe.
Go Beckley Tepe. There you go. Have a great night. Thank you so much, Todd. And with that, that wraps another fabulous Fadernight here on Fade to Black. Just great phone calls tonight. Thank you to everybody. And why isn't my music queuing? And there it goes. Now it is. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camurian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster Drew the Geek. Music Doug Aldrich. Intro Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA The Planet. Broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. Again, rest in peace, Art Bell. Thank you for everybody calling in tonight with your Art Bell memories. I want everybody to be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.